Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee Chasers. Now, the boys and I always talk a big game when it comes to our knowledge of coffee, but we've decided to put that to the test today and we are going to school again. We have our pen, we have our paper, but more importantly, we have an apple for teacher. So come inside and we'll show you what's going on. Come on.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to Leaf Bean Machine. Here to do some coffee training with me here this morning.
Yep.
So we're going to just start with a little bit of a brief run through, a little bit on coffee beans, a little bit on roasting. So just to get you guys a little bit of a brief rundown of what espresso actually is, what we're looking at is really just a type of brewing method. Okay, lots of different ways we can make coffee: pour over, mocha master, aeropress, all of these different styles. So the difference with espresso is that we take very finely ground coffee and we brew it under hot pressurized water. Now, because we brew it in that way, we end up with something that's very, very intense in flavor. It's obviously highly concentrated. And for the most part, we just use a very small amount of espresso, a bit like a base, mixing it predominantly with milk. Now, there are two things that we are going to focus on. So we're going to look at the barista technique, which is going to be all the physical things that we need to do to prepare the coffee. And then we're going to have a good look at espresso recipe, which is actually going over the components that the espresso is made up of and how we're going to control those variables. Cool.
So you'll need to listen up in the technique bit. just take some notes.
Yeah. Look, I'm really going to argue against that. Like, on the way here, I'm like, you need to get better. You will get better.
Well, that's what we're all here for.
Pay attention in class, you.
All right, so before we get into either of those two things, I really do need to cover extraction, okay? So we're gonna kind of work through a chart here today, and you guys will be very familiar with this terminology. Now, when we extract too much, we have over-extracted, and that's where you generally find espresso is very bitter. All right, you've had one of those before. They're terrible. Yeah. On the other hand, though, and this is unfortunately can be quite common, is that when we don't extract enough, all right, if we have under-extracted, we generally find espresso then is maybe a bit sour, or you've had it before, it's been a bit thin, a bit empty tasting.
Yeah,
that is generally that under-extraction. So here in the center, all right, is representing our 20% extraction, where it's going to be really clean, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be balanced.
The,
all right,
the
so
delicious.
delicious, that's right.
It's just
So-
weird. Like, I'm always in that middle area. That's me.
Cool. All right, guys, so we're going to have a look at dosing, tamping, and brewing for our barista technique, referring to getting some ground coffee into our handle or into our basket. First of all, we always want to make sure that we're grinding coffee fresh, okay? It's going to have a huge impact on the flavor and the characteristics that we're going to get. So making sure that you're grinding fresh each time and just using it immediately.
Yeah.
All right, so how do we distribute? We're going to make sure that first of all, our basket is really dry. All right, we're going to use a dry towel, make sure that it's not damp or wet so that the new coffee going in isn't sticking and clumping. All right, and as I said, you'll get that big mound in the center. So we're just going to very gently groom the top of the basket to make sure that it's all smooth and flat. The last part there is dose. So this is about making sure we're controlling the amount of ground coffee that we're using each time. This is very much going to feed into what we're going to talk about in the recipe side of things. So we're going to be using scales. We're going to check how much ground coffee the grinder has given us. We may need to make some adjustments to that amount. All right, now we do have...
Hey, that's a carton.
That's a carton.
That's a carton. We had like 3 warnings. Yes.
Mate, I was preoccupied.
VBs, mate. Carton of VBs.
20 grams is going to be our target with 0.2 of a gram on either side of that. All right, now we're ready for tamping. So this diagram is going to explain things pretty well. All right, at the moment there'd be all these little air pockets. All right, we need to push all of those out. We need to compact the coffee to create some resistance to that water flowing through, and it also preserves that distribution we just created as well. And then tamping pressure is always something that gets a lot of talk. So what we ultimately want to do is just make sure that we have fully compact all the way into the basket. So we're going to keep pushing down, and you'll feel the coffee moving within the basket. We're going to keep pushing until we hit maximum density. All right, so simply the tamper is just not going to go down any further. Okay, and then we're going to pull the tamper straight out. So how we stand and how we hold the tamper are going to have a big impact on making sure that we can do that effectively. So we're actually going to stand side on to the bench, grip the tamper so you have a thumb and finger on the base. Lift your elbow so your elbow goes up towards the ceiling. Make sure your tamper is nice and even, and then when you're ready, press all the way to the bottom. All right, nice and firm, but by no means do you need to be the Incredible Hulk, okay? All right, and now we're ready for brewing. First of all, we do want to make sure that once we do lock the handle into the machine, that we do turn it on immediately, all right? We don't want to risk any burning or scorching of the coffee by leaving in a hot, damp environment. Now, very carefully lock the handle in, but do pull it nice and tight. All right, and then as I said, we're going to turn the machine on straight away using the button that has the green sticker either on it or above it. So think of this like your green light, all right, green for go. All right, you'll notice that there's still plenty of time to grab your cup, put it underneath, all right, before that espresso comes through. All right, guys, so look, I'm just gonna run through all of that one more time for you guys, just so you can see it all in action. Yep. And then you guys can jump on the machines and have a go.
Sweet.
All right.
Everything that's been mentioned of like the things that you could do wrong, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done every single part. I've put the handle in, I've let it sit there in what's probably dripping water. I mean, like, I go and have a shower. Let me just quickly vacuum the floor. Well, to learn you have to make errors, and I've made them the worst way possible. Yeah. And it's like you come back, you push it, it's like that coffee tastes like an ashtray with a bit of water in it.
Yeah. All right, guys, so the way that this process is laid out, it is in 10 steps. We're gonna follow through the same 10 steps every time. So number 1, remove the portafilter. All right, so take it out of the machine. Number 2, flush the group. So you actually will get into the habit of doing that straight away so that you know that the machine is ready to go. All right, number 3, it does say knock out puck from previous extraction. So again, that's when we're being quite continuous. So 4 is wipe basket clean and dry. So just make sure you have a dry towel. All right, 5, onto the scales. Make sure the handle goes all the way onto the gray mat. Give these scales plenty of space because they are sensitive all the way around. And we're going to remove the weight of the handle by pressing T. And then we're going to use this to press this little button here. It's a tap and release. And then gently move from side to side. We're going to check how much ground coffee the grinder has given us. Pretty close to what we need, but we're just a little bit over. And we definitely have some distribution to do here, okay? We've got a big mound of coffee here and all these little gaps on this side. So we're just gonna gently press around until it's smooth and flat and just take off that little bit extra. So with your practice today, guys, don't worry if it does take you a couple of goes to get it right. All right, it is a skill.
Just dead on.
Okay, we did it. You're the teacher. I'm better than you.
It is a skill that the more that you practice, the quicker and easier it will become, okay, I promise. All right, now we're on to tamping. Okay, so flatter part of the handle, not the spouts, but the flatter part is gonna rest onto your tamp mat. All right, I'm standing side on to the bench. Grip the tamper so you have a thumb and finger on both sides. Elbow goes up to the ceiling. Make sure it's nice and even, and then all the way to the bottom. All right, we're gonna lift that straight out. And then we're just gonna run our hand across the edges there, making sure the surface is nice and clean. All right, so now we're ready to lock it in, which is step 9. Nice and carefully, in it goes. Pull it tight, green for go, and then our cup underneath. All right, so this will be 2 shots or a double shot because we have both of those 2 spouts running into that 1 cup. All right, I'm just gonna let this finish pouring. We're gonna have a quick look at just how we're gonna finish that process, and then as I said, you guys are gonna jump on and you guys are gonna have a go. All right, so here's our double shot of espresso. All Okay, here is our puck, okay, or our old coffee.
Puck.
So puck.
I haven't heard that before.
Puck, yep.
Puck, okay.
Straight into the middle of the bar on your nut box. Give it a good whack. That is the only time you will be rough with the handle.
Right.
All right, give it a good clean. Now, it is important that we do keep our handles nice and hot. So once they're clean but not in use, make sure that you do actually keep it in the group head. We want that the optimum temperature for extraction.
There you go.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
No,
I'm doing
So-
so many things wrong.
I'm just saying, like, even with your home machine, leave it to heat up.
Yeah.
All right, don't just switch it on and then make your coffee straight away. You might get hot water, but you actually want to have that handle really, really hot. All right, so turn your machine on, then go do your vacuuming, then come back and make coffee. Okay?
I've got this system because I've got a newborn. I will get ready to go. I've got everything in the position and I'm like, on, bang, bang, bang. That's in there like that. It's like, I try and time it, get it done as quick as possible, finish, and then I hear a baby crying in the morning.
So you can take your little worksheets with you, follow through the steps there. I'll be coming around and giving a hand.
Perfect. Thank you. So we're going to tear that off to 0. We are going to grind and dose. Oh, made a right knob of that.
The same position as it was before when you teared it. Good. So you need to take off about 1 gram. Yep, great. All right, just wipe off those edges and then off you go.
So I want to make sure.
Yeah,
Flush it
if you don't
first.
think that you flushed, flush again.
All right. Oh, start getting it going. Put it in there.
That is gorgeous. I'm pretty happy with that. First
Like,
go.
straight off the bat, it looks dead. Man, doesn't that look so much better already? than
Yeah, it makes me
we did at
just
home?
think, yeah, I got to do something about the setup I've got at home.
Okay.
It's probably
the-
just you.
Yeah, the person you've got at home.
Yeah, I need to get one of Summers at home.
Look at what's coming out of there. It's wicked.
Oh, Sam Wham, here we go.
All right.
Yep. All right, into tamping. So if you're right-handed, you want to tamp with your right hand.
Right hand tamp with my right hand.
And then that's going to go there. That's it. Beautiful.
Do you twist it? No.
No.
No. Okay.
Twist and shout, twist and shout.
And then
Okay.
just scrape
Yeah.
that off.
Straight, just, yeah, tidy off all those edges, so nothing on the lugs.
Cool.
Okay, lock it in. Yeah, green for go.
Green for go. Cup underneath.
Awesome. Great, guys. All right,
this
so
is
when you are
gorgeous.
ready, just make sure you take the old coffee out of the handles before you come back and have a seat. Leave your cups on the bench because we'll use them again shortly.
I think one of the biggest things, and I actually have started doing it of recent times, like literally the last few weeks, weighing the shots. It's, you know, if you can do anything, I've got scales, you know, if you can do anything, just weigh it. At least that is a consistent part
Yeah.
of the coffee that
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah.
So to get it within, or not even within, bang on 20 grams, you know, every time it's just
Yeah.
Well, that's
setting that
only
foundation.
1/3 of the picture. So that's what we're gonna have a look at next, guys. We're gonna have a look at recipes. All right, so 3 parts. We're gonna go through this relatively quickly, but there are 3 parts to an espresso recipe. So the first part of an espresso recipe, you guys already know a little bit about this one. This is the dose, all right? So the amount of ground coffee going in. The next part of the recipe is yield. So that's going to be the amount of water that we're gonna push through the dose. And then the last part of the recipe being time. And this is going to be how fast or slow the espresso actually pours. So you guys already know the dose, that's 20 grams, and that tolerance there is only 0.2 of a gram. Now the yield, is gonna be double what your dose is. So we're looking for 40 grams of espresso into our cup from our double shot. A little bit more tolerance that we can get away with the yield, all right? There's 3 whole grams either side, so that would be as low as 37 or as high as 43.
3 whole grams.
I know, whole
Thank you.
grams. Timing, we need the espresso to pour between 27 and 33 seconds. Again, a couple of seconds either side of that range would still be okay. There are lots of different espresso recipes, all right? And they are all determined by the size of the basket that you're working with. So
I
there's
had
lots.
no idea that there was
Yeah.
multiple.
There is lots of different espresso recipes. There's not just one.
And
That's
what's,
blown my mind already. I'm just like, what?
what's
I'm gonna get you guys back on your machines. All right, you are going to go through that process of checking the yield and checking the time. So let's just have a quick recap on that process. All right, so again, you're going to use your scales. You're going to get your dose ready to go, just like you've already practiced. Then remember to tare your cup. So you're just going to add in an extra step. All right, go ahead, pour your espresso. All right, your timer will start on your machine. So you just need to keep an eye on that. All right, so just remember timing, we want to be between that 25 and 35 seconds. And then when we put that cup back on the scales, we want it to be between that 37 and 43. All right, and obviously our dose is consistent. So I'm just gonna get you to do this once from each group head, all right? And if you think that your yields are not in range, or if you think that your grinder needs to be adjusted, let me know and I'll come around and we're gonna do that together.
Give it a wash, give it a wash. Give it a dry.
Oh, no! We haven't gone.
Stop! Oh, made it.
Nailed it. 28.
28?
Yeah,
Cool.
good.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Oh no.
It's okay, just swipe it up.
I made a mistake.
Just swipe it all into one. Just go straight across. Yeah, good. And check your dose.
Do you want it to say 20, Sam?
Yeah, bang on. Nothing else. Just 20.
Well, both of those are flushed.
Great, okay, do your tamping.
Ooh.
All right, grab your scales, bring them up here onto the drip tray and just make sure that they don't touch the back of the machine.
Is that right? Just sit
Yeah,
that?
that'll be there for a while. Okay, grab your cup, put the cup on the scales and press T. All right, get your handle and lock it in. Now don't press the green button this time. Hold this button in until it flashes. So you need to keep your finger on it. It's gonna take about 30 seconds or so.
Oh, this is where we get the 36, 37.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now you can press the green. Keep an eye on this. So when this reads, as you said, that 36, 37, press this to stop.
Okay.
Come back and press this once to save. And all we would have done is rewritten the programming on that.
Okay.
And then it will be consistent with what we get on this one.
So when it gets to 30, 36 to 37,
Yep,
Kill it.
that's it.
what's my reflexes like?
You can't really mess it up all that much.
Yeah, well, that gives me great
Yes,
confidence.
you've met Joel before.
Yeah, great. Okay, save it, press once.
Oh, what am I? Oh, come on!
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
It is perfectly well within our range though. All right,
Oh.
well done.
Oh.
What are we trying to get, Sam?
Oh, I didn't. Oh no.
Oh no!
Tip it out, start
Oh, I
again.
feel so bad tipping it out. Sorry. All right. Don't.
Oh,
That's how much.
come on.
That's how much you want.
Come
right?
on, get it. I've even been known to do like a mid-air temp, like.
Oh no.
All these painful.
All right, put your cup on and tear it just so that's all ready to go. Good. All right, lock your handle in, and then rather than press that green button, you're going to hold down the one on the end that says Pro Stop.
All right.
You're going to keep your finger on it. Sure, super tight. Keep your
Okay,
finger on until
hold
it flashes.
Okay.
Right, press green. Good. All right,
Right,
so
and
keep
then-
an eye on this. Again, 36, 37, stop
Yeah.
and save.
So I got 39.5, Sam. So we're aiming for 40.
Yeah, I'll just get 40 then.
Just get 40, mate.
we can.
I'm gonna get right in here.
The thing is, he's going to edit it and make it look like it's 40.
Yeah. Nothing in Photoshop now.
Oh,
I pressed, but I didn't press hard enough.
Is that 43.9? Now we're looking for 36 or 37 to let it coast into a 40.
And I'm going to push it.
Yeah, I felt like I went premature. Like I thought I hit it like
I'm going to keep my
35.
finger off the button because I'll probably hit it too early. Far out. Right, ready? Aiming for 40, yeah?
That's the plan.
Yeah, save it.
Come on, keep
Save
going
it.
up.
All about the same.
No, I reckon Sam's got me closer. Okay. I'll give that one to you, Sam. I'll let you know.
Oh, that was stressful.
All right, so just rinse your cup, take the old coffee out, come back to the table when you're ready, guys.
All right.
Hard work's done.
What do you reckon? How'd you go? Trash.
Very good.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, guys, hard work's done. We're on to the fun stuff now.
Excellent. Sweet guys, so that's the end of part 1. Stick around for part 2 where things are gonna get heated. I think mention of a bit of a competition, so let's see who's the best at latte art.
Latte art. The bit you all want to know. Stick around, tune in, subscribe, check out for the next one. See you then.